Alright, so you guys want to become a DJ. Probably not the best time just because we're in a pandemic right now and you probably won't be able to play for anybody soon other than yourself or if you decide to live stream. But hey, it's a good time to pick up a new skill, hobby to kind of just pass time, right? My name is Ben. I've been DJing since 2012. Yeah, I go by DJ Bazooka. I've done a couple different types of events in my DJ career. And I'm here today just kind of to show you guys the fundamentals of the DJ equipment that I have, which translate to things that you can go out and buy, like a DJ controller. Basically, that's an all-in-one unit. Or if you have some money and you actually kind of want to get serious and invest in some nicer equipment, you can get a really nice mixer and 2 turntables. It's gonna cost you a pretty penny, but I think it's a good investment if you definitely decide to kind of stick through with it and do with what you want, I guess. So yeah, like I said, this tutorial is meant to just be very short and simple and kind of guide you through the fundamentals of the things that I usually touch and you see DJs do when they're performing. So yeah, let's get into it. All right, so here's my DJ setup for today. Today I'm using a Pioneer DJM-S9 Mixer here. It's a pretty standard mixer that a lot of the clubs or venues will have, especially if they're playing with turntables or CDJs. This is probably going to be your main workhorse if you get to this equipment here. Other than that, like I said, you can get a controller and it will do the same job. So the way I like to think about this is if you look at it from up top, it's very symmetrical, right? So if you drew a line right down the middle and you were to cut it in half, of course I wouldn't want to do that. That's like thousands of dollars that I'd be damaging. Anyways, if you were to draw a line down the middle and cut it in half, it's basically the same thing, right? So let's start on the left side. I like to consider this side A, just because it's a good reference, but anyways. So this is a turntable, and basically what it does is it plays music. So yeah, this is called a control vinyl. There's no music on here. It basically just sets a tone, sends a tone, a signal to the needle. Then the needle goes into the mixer. Then it pops out whatever kind of music that you have if you're using a software like I have, Serato DJ Pro. Okay, so this is the on and off switch right here. Start, stop, depending what kind of, if you're playing with actual vinyl, there's different sizes of vinyl. In this case, this is a 12-inch piece of vinyl here, so I usually leave it on 33, but this is how many rounds per minute, so that would be 45. If you have any 45 records, throw that on, put that, and it's going to play at the correct speed that it was recorded at. This is a pitch control. Basically, it controls the pitches. It controls the pitch of your track here. Not all turntables have these, but this is a reset button for the pitch. So in the event that, let's say you're playing something that's +6, if you hit reset, it's going to go back to its original recorded pitch there. There are other videos on YouTube that kind of go in depth of how this all operates and work. Again, this video is to just be very simple and kind of get you started on what to do. This whole mechanism here is this is your tone arm. I forget what the name of this is, but it's basically your bass. There's videos out there on teaching you how to balance one of these things. I watched it a few years ago and I don't quite really remember. I have it set and kind of left it as is, but it's good to always check up on it, especially if you have this type of equipment, to keep the longevity of it. All right, So going back to the mixer here, let's just go over some of the basic controls. So up top we have our EQs, which is going to be on our left side, side A. We have our highs, our lows, our mids, and then our lows. Some mixers, they have a pan, meaning that you can play to the left side of the speakers or to the right side. You can keep in the middle of both. This particular one does not. Your trim, basically, or your gain. And if you guys don't know what this is, I strongly recommend going onto YouTube and just looking up basic EQ controls. And there's another video, like, you know, people kind of explain all that fun stuff. Your filter, some loop effects, and then some built-in effects from Serato or Pioneer. This is like a trigger type of thing, and then your level or your depth for your effects, which is pretty cool. I don't use this too much, but there are uses of it. Again, there are other videos of people kind of explaining this a little bit better, but today I just want to show you guys like what all this stuff is in a simpler form. Your cue points, basically your bookmarks in the tracks that you have. So for example, if there's, for example, let's, let me put this on here. So it's like a bookmark, right? So this is the start of the song, and I have a bookmark set. And for each one that you set, you have different colors, and that coordinates to these buttons down here, which is pretty cool. You have your volume fader, your crossfader. Your volume fader, that should be pretty self-explanatory. And then your control, your crossfader. So if it's all the way to the left, the A side, you're gonna hear the A side. If it's in the middle, if I have something playing here, you hear the A and the B side. But if I have all the way to the B side, you're not gonna be able to hear anything on the A side. Cool. Let me know if you guys have any questions about anything so far. Let me know in the comments below. But essentially, that's pretty much the basic of kind of like understanding what everything does here. And again, this translates to other mixers, other turntables, as well as if you were to go out and buy a controller yourself. Different companies, different DJ companies, they may label things differently, but for the most part, everything is pretty universal and should be the same. And the cool thing is, if you do get a new piece of equipment or gear, you can always, you know, just mess around by yourself and kind of like figure it out that way as well, or just watch YouTube videos like I do and kind of learn that way. So yeah, so that concludes my first video of the DJ tutorial series. Basically, it's supposed to be super short and simple and to the point. Just want to get you guys familiar with all the different controls that could be translated to other types of equipment. And then kind of going from there, part two, I'm gonna go ahead and explain a little bit the software that I use to kind of like have everything tied together, which is called DJ Serato Pro. Serato actually has tips and tricks videos on their YouTube page that you can kind of just go through. If you're a little bit more advanced, you know kind of what you're doing already. Those are some great videos to watch, especially transitions, tutorials and stuff like that. But again, this is for somebody that's maybe thinking that, hey, DJing is super cool, I want to get into it, or just something that you guys are curious about of how DJs kind of like do the things that they do when you see them at a club. But yeah, so it's 2020, we're in a pandemic, and I hope everyone is staying safe, socially distance, wear a mask. It's definitely not fun to get COVID and all that fun stuff. Not fun stuff, Jesus. But yeah, just want to make this video super sweet and simple. Can you tell this is my first time making a YouTube video? Jesus Christ. Anyways, yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you like what you saw today, please give me a thumbs up, like, subscribe, and all that fun-ish.